I'm originally from a place called the Comoros Islands, which is in Lower East Africa. Both of my parents are from there. Me, myself, I was born in Paris, France. So I was born in Europe in an African family. We moved to Washington, D.C., Maryland. So in the household, before I even knew about hip hop, it was a lot of African music. It was a lot of reggae, even soul music. You know, my father had vinyls with soul music and things like that. So I had all these influences in me. Then growing up, I started listening to hip hop on the radio, watching TV, things like that. So that got into me. But I always was eclectic in the type of music that I was listening to. I was still listening to a lot of reggae. I would listen to a lot of dance hall and African music. And as much as I got into the hip hop and really honed into it, those influences stayed in me where I was like, yo, it's time for me to show people where I'm from and what I love and express myself in those type of ways too, because I felt like it was opening up my world. I wanted to show people the whole me, not just a part. And like that the guy from D12 was saying, it's part of emptying myself. It's like, look, I gave y'all this, but there's a whole big part of me that hasn't spoken yet. And this is it. I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. I think it's just a sign of the time. I'm just keeping it. I'm an artist first. You know, like hip hop is what I do. Hip hop is what I love. Hip hop is also what I live. But I'm an artist, meaning that you can't confine me into a box. A lot of people want that. I could easily be the pure MC that does this, and I do it. I gave y'all lifetimes of music like that. It's just that I'm just exploring more because you know what? I could take that criticism. I could take the purists telling me, yo, you can't do this because look, man, I gave y'all projects. If I know some people are never gonna be happy with nothing, but that's part of the artist which I'm being selfish. This is what I want to do, and I can do it, so I will do it. And I think I always thought it was unfortunate that hip hop artists, I felt like put themselves in this box, and it's like all the personas are the same. And I'm generalizing, of course, because there's outliers that do things differently. You know, there's like some Andre 3000's personalities out there. I'm just giving an example, but a lot of rappers is the same person, and oftentimes very, very similar music. And it's like, yo, dude, they ran that stuff to the ground in the 90s and it was really high level. If you can't bring something different or can't do it at least as good or better, you're wasting time. I'd rather listen to a Clue mixtape than listening to your ass do the same thing and lesser version of a Joe Button or lesser version of a Lloyd Banks or something back then. And I see a lot of artists going that route because they already have the format and the blueprint and the fan base that already is comfortable with that. But me, I'm not doing the music just to cater to somebody. I'm bringing people to me. If you're open to get into my world, you're going to listen to samples from anime music. You're going to listen to a little bit of Afrobeat. You're going to listen to like different type of sounds and different type of subject matter because that's just who I am. When I started rapping, I was really just about the raps. I was about the wordplay. I was about the flow. I was about the voice. That was my main concern. When I listened to music, I was listening to the lyricism because that's what got me into it. That's really what I love. And I always, at some point in my head, I was like, man, one of these days, one of these big producers or producers that I love is gonna hit me up and gonna want to produce for me. Then I got out of that. It didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just matured out of it. And I'm like, yo, I need to produce my own projects. Because even when I have producers so-called send me beats, I realized that I was doing production because I was putting songs together. I was arranging, I was putting movie clips. I was timing. So I'm like, that's also a producer thing. And becoming a producer, I think it made me better, and it made me a better all-around artist. And I guess at some point, I think when I did a Tupac-grapher mixtape, which I just redid a lot of Tupac songs, but I took Tupac's interviews and made him a narrator of the whole thing. And I did that project in like 5 days, and I realized, man, I could really do this. Like I didn't know it, like I could do this. before I did it over and over again. And then I realized that, damn, this is flowing out of me. Like, it's no more writer's block. I don't get that no more. It's no more, I don't know what to do. I'm not inspired today. It's like, man, there's so many ideas I want to put out. And I started like opening the floodgates of my creativity and just letting it flow.